Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Glomsky Commerce. This channel is about e-commerce, selling online, building and scaling your business to the next level. Today we're actually going to be looking at one of my favorite things to get into, and that's influencer marketing. The reason I love it so much is the difficulty of it is definitely high, but the rewards can be amazing, especially compared to like PPC advertising, running like Facebook ads, making sure your ad copy and everything is just right. It can get kind of tedious, kind of trial and error where you're guessing whether or not you're doing stuff right. But when you're able to leverage the power of influencers, people that already have an audience, especially if their audience lines up with your audience, it can just be so powerful. And the trust and rapport that you have with your audience as an influencer really helps them make decisions when it comes to buying. So if you're able to plug into that, it can be huge. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is a tool that we use for how to find influencers, how to communicate with influencers. And this tool, I've got to warn you, it's not cheap, but it is. We've tried other options. I can share those with you as well. But this is by far my favorite one, and it's really not the most expensive option out there. But it does a phenomenal job. So this is actually called Upfluence, Upfluence. A lot of these different softwares play off of the influencer or influence name. This one here actually found while doing my own research, looking for alternatives to the big machine, which is called Grin, Grin, Grin. We got a quote, and for a year. For Grin, I mean, the software was great, but it was going to be about $29,000 for 1 year. And we're a pretty small sized team that was not in the budget whatsoever. This software here is much cheaper. I'll break down the costs here at the end, but I just wanted to show you kind of how it works. So we have our campaigns here. You can have as many campaigns as you'd like with different angles, different themes. And this is essentially, if you can imagine like a Helium 10 or a Jungle Scout, you know how they run numbers on Amazon, and now Helium 10 runs numbers on Amazon and Walmart. Imagine doing that on social media. It's really, really cool. And so they have basically a web app and they have a Chrome extension. We're going to go to an account here. We're going to go to, let's say, Instagram. And as we're in here in Instagram, I'm going to try and find someone who's fairly popular. This one here, 8100. This is just a random, definitely not English. Looks like from Chile, maybe. Random person. And what we're going to do is we're going to run our Upfluence extension on him, and we're going to see different analytics that they're able to run off of him. Looks like he's not in the database. They don't have everybody, but you can actually import people. So I'm just going to do it now. That way anyone else that possibly wants to come across him is able to now see him in the database. So the numbers that it's going to pull, it's going to compare social media accounts. If they have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, if they have a blog or something, it's going to pull numbers on their website. It has like an Alexa ranking as far as like popularity of their stuff. It'll pull their name, their email, phone number if it has it, any public information it's going to be able to pull. Down here, this one is empty for him because we just added him. If I come back in a day or two, it's going to be reading his information. It basically tells you how his posts perform, and then it compares them to other people that are like him. So in this case, other influencers that have around 8,000 subscribers. How is his engagement? How is his likes? How is his comments compared to others? And it actually gives them a grading. And then they have this, for lack of a better term, we'll call it a brain that figures out a suggested price that you should offer an influencer when you go to communicate with them to let them know you'd like to work with them. So to show you this more at work, I'm actually going to pull up a different account. And this is actually, I'm just going to pull up my own brand, shameless plug, although I'm probably gonna blot it out so you don't have all of our information here. This is like super young account, not phenomenal by any means, but we have a decent size following. But it's able to show you the countries. And so looks like the top one right now is from India. We have a lot of like outdoors type pictures and stuff, as you'll see. Engagement, our average is 5.27%. Suggested price, if you were to try and pay me to put something on my Instagram account, it's going to be $55. The suggested price is $50 and they want 100, 150, 200. That's up to you as to how you do that. Some suggested price is 500, 1,000, and they're they say they'll do something for like $300. So works out pretty well most of the time. But you can see the engagement ranks us here, A+ for engagement and likes. We need a little bit of help on the comments. And then it even tells you what day of the week you have the best posts, the number of posts that you put up per day, as well as how they perform throughout the different months as well. So it breaks it all down into different charts. You're able to add notes. These are just for you to see. And then you can also directly email from your own email. You can set it up so that it sends from you, from your Outlook, your Gmail, whatever. And you can email directly through the Chrome extension here. So really neat stuff. If we had other channels, it would be able to break those down as well. Super cool. Now I want to show you another feature here. This one here is for if you're doing maybe some manual research, you like a certain type of account, and you just kind of want to get some more information on them. You can really break down their audience type, male, female, their age bracket, stuff like that. You can also look at like if they're working with other companies. You can see what brand names get mentioned a lot. You're not going to see any of that for our account because it's really just like an outdoors type page. But if we pop back into here, we're going to go to the search tool and we're going to run some searches here. And I'm actually going to create a new list here. I call this one YouTube. Let's do this. Let's go YouTube. Say I wanted to do this one for a February campaign that we have coming up. I'm going to go February camping, and then so I'm going to search like camping, and then I'm going to say no Trekology. So Trekology is a big hiking camping brand. I actually own a lot of their gear. Pretty good stuff. So let's say I want to sell like a hiking brand. That's what my department is, whatever. My department. What am I working at Walmart? my niche. So I'm targeting people that are in that, but that aren't already actively working with a big brand, where either they're going to be super expensive or they're just they're already working with a big name brand that I just can't afford to pay what they're going to pay. So I want to take them out. So we're going to go to the influencer database. And we're going to type in keywords that we want to have these people mention. So we're going to go camping. We can go hiking. Let's go family camping. And we can go on and on with different words. I'm going to keep this simple. You can change the weight or how important. Basically, you can rank these different terms. So like you should have more camping than hiking if you go with a higher number, or if you keep them all the same number, then it's all equal weight or equal importance to you. And then you can go should, must, or must not. So like we're going to go camping, hiking, family camping. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out Trekology. So no Trekology. Must not contain Trekology. And so you see the numbers change over here on the right. Next, what we're going to do is move my head out of the way. There we go. We can go specific to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitch, or their blog, or we can leave it to all. English, I want English as the language. Added, we're going to leave alone. Has an email. This is very important if you're using this tool. You want to figure out, it's great to find people, but if you can't contact them, if DMing them is the only way to contact someone through Instagram, you've got maybe a 5% chance that they're actually going to see that message. So you want their email. Most of them have it built in to the back end. If you do this type of research on YouTube manually, you're limited to only 5 emails per day that you can pull from YouTube. If you use a tool like this, it's able to pull that without that restriction. So the blog we'll leave there. Country. My target audience is going to be US, so we're going to leave it as US. You can add specific cities, you can add genders, age brackets as well. And then list to include. So like, let's say we've already got like a hiking backpacking one. We're going to, list to exclude. We're going to exclude that list. That way we're not seeing the same influencers that perhaps we're already working with. So we can exclude those. And so you see we went from 208,000 down to 56,000, which is still a massive amount of people that we could potentially work with. And under camping, hiking, and family camping, taking out Trekology, looks like we're at 62% female, 38% male, with the bulk age between 25 to 34. That's taking up the bulk of that. And then you can see some of the other numbers here as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to run this search here. We're going to click search influencers and we'll see what we got. So right away it starts loading them. And what's really cool about this is you're able to basically say yes or no to them being in this campaign. If you click the X, they fall off. The next step from here would be to move them to an actual list that you want to work with. So like a yes/no list, and then the yes list is going to move on to the next step where you actually go to contact them. But right from this page, if you click on them, you can see some additional information actually without even clicking. You've got the percentage male or female from their following, the age, you see all of that right up front, and then the percentage of the audience that's real. People can buy followers. There's robots and stuff that can do all sorts of things. So how genuine is their following? You don't want just a big audience. You want people that are actually going to have good engagement. This one here, Firebox Stove, this is actually a brand itself. So I'm not really interested in working with a brand if I am a brand wanting to work with someone. This next guy here, though, not quite as big. He's got 15K on YouTube, a smaller Instagram following. His engagement is 6.25%. He's got more engagement on his Instagram, but he's got a slightly bigger reach here on YouTube. So you can see his description. You can see his audience as well, mostly male. I'm actually going to click on this man, this gentleman, and we're going to run his numbers here. So we've got actually two options now. We've got Instagram and we've got YouTube. So looking at, let's just go YouTube. That caught my eye first. We're able to pull up his YouTube channel just by clicking on it, which is nice if you want to look at, kind of the big scope of everything. But if you just want an overview, it actually pulls up his latest videos and you're able to see kind of some of his best performing stuff in addition to like the recent stuff. So you're able to see, this video here was 9.8% engagement, cost per view based off of the recommended price that they give you. It would cost you $2.44 per view for this one. So really nice information. Gives you the number of views, the estimated impressions, and the estimated number of people you would reach, as well as how many likes and dislikes each video got. So looking here, this guy, we're not picking on him. Engagement is a B, likes is a B minus, views is a C compared to other people that are like him. If you look at his Instagram account, though, you notice it says brand mentions. So he's working with this brand here, which is Discover something. Let's open them up here. Discover Wisconsin. I was way off. So he's working with, this isn't even a brand. This is just a page that he basically tagged. So any mentions are going to fall under that section. Usually it's brands. Sometimes they're just, mentioning something local. And then his Instagram account, although it's smaller, he's only 2.8 thousand. He's actually doing really, really good with his engagement. The average number of engagements is actually well above people that are at 10, 12, 15,000. So for being a small page, he's actually doing really, really well when it comes to his Instagram page. So if I wanted to add this guy to my campaign, I can do that. I can email him directly from within here. I'm just going to hit the X here. And so I'm going to hit the check mark to add him so that I can add him to my network, and then I will further contact the whole list at once. I'll send one bulk email over to him. And so from here, what I would do is literally just check yes or no to ones that I want to look closer into, just from the basic information that they give me. I would try to get a good mix between male and female. But really what you're looking at here is you need to know who your customer is, and then you need to analyze their audience to see, do they have my type of customer as their audience, because you want those to align. So let's say that we've got all these done. What we're going to do now, we're going to move these influencers. We're going to move them to, here we go, YouTube February Camping No Trekology. That is our list. And so we're going to move them to our list. And so now when we run a campaign, we're going to run a campaign off of that list, and we'll be able to reach out to these individuals and track how everything performs. With this, I don't want this video to be too lengthy, but what I'm going to do is pop into campaigns that I already have going, and you can see some of the stats that you're able to see. So with this brand here, I invited 36 individuals, 36 different accounts. 5 of those got moved to the next step. I believe, I forget where it's at, but 30 out of 36 opened the email, so I'm able to see the open rate, and then those that email me back. And all of the communication actually happens right within this platform. So super useful. You're able to see as you move along here. If you have a like a Shopify or a WooCommerce site, they can actually keep track of the sales as well. If you're just selling on Amazon or Walmart, unfortunately, there's no direct way to be able to tell how they perform, but you are definitely going to see that in your sales if you have the right type of influencers that you're working with. They're able to offer counter offers. So let's say this lady here, her price was $500 for her audience. I am totally okay with that. Let's say that she didn't have quite the audience I was looking for. Maybe I'd offer her like $100 and then she could say yes or no from there. And so what this thing does, in addition to keeping track of things, is they really guide you in like the right approach to take for reaching out to your influencers. You're able to build templates for each campaign. And so they're able to, have kind of an outline for what you want to say to influencers to appeal to them, to really showcase your brand. I'm going to pull up a campaign here. Then I'm going to go to these settings so you can see what type of things I'm talking about. I'm going to let's go to the brief. So here you can build your brief. I've got the brand image here. New camping product launch, blah, blah, blah. We're super excited to offer you a partnership with our brand. What are we offering, or who are we and what are we offering? Talk a little bit about like your company, what you're offering to them, the history of your company. Let them know about the products. Here is the product that we're offering, what we're expecting from you. This is where you break down, if it's TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform you're looking for people to put up content with, that's where you would put it here. The type of content, anything specific. You can direct them to include specific handles, specific hashtags. And then I always like to include, and they recommend, it's called a mood board. But basically ones that you've worked with in the past, putting up some of their work, or if you have someone that kind of, maybe they're not working with you, but you like the vibe of what they're doing, you can include that as well. Just to kind of give the influencer an idea of what they should do. At the bottom, I've got the do's and don'ts. Basically, it's just don't trash my brand, don't be offensive, stuff like that. And then there's just some little terms and conditions basically at the bottom saying, when you'll get paid, who you're paid by. So I've got all my legal information in there. The email templates, it's broken down into 5 different ones. You send the initial invite. Once you've accepted their price, you would send them the product shipment, letting them know once the product has been sent. Drafting is once they've submitted the work to you, you're able to review it before they make it go live. And then you're able to say yes or no to the content that they put up. And then they can make any tweaks from there. Publishing is basically letting them know like, hey, you're good to go. Go ahead and put it live. And then from there, you'll go ahead and pay them. You don't run your payment through Upfluence. You actually pay them through PayPal or directly to their bank account, however you arrange that with them. So that is about it. There's a little bit more that we can get into as far as tracking and stuff like that. But I really just wanted to make you aware of this because, this specific software is what we're using and it's great. It's perfect for what we do. It allows us to still be plugged in and not pay buco bucks to have like a manager of all of this stuff. But it gives us a lot of the same capabilities that these big companies have when they're working with influencers. It's very, very useful for dialing in exactly the type of person that you want to work with without spending hours and hours searching through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube, trying to find people, and then you have to like message them directly through Instagram to be able to reach out to them unless they have their stuff public to you. This software can pull information that you otherwise would not be able to get. So super useful. If you guys are interested in checking it out, go ahead and check out the link down below. This isn't one of those things where you just like click a button and buy it. You've got to have a meeting with someone to see if you're the right kind of fit, because as I mentioned, it's not cheap. As that's the case, let's talk about the pricing. It really differs, depending on the number of users, the size of the number of influencers that you're working with. Our bill ends up being, between about $1,000 to $1,100 a month. The base software is about $1,000 a month, and then you pay, I forget how many cents. It's very, very minuscule, maybe like 10 cents per influencer that you're working with per month. So if you're working with thousands and thousands of influencers, your bill will go up a little bit, but it's not going to be astronomical. This account actually has 2 seats or two managers. So like when I send emails, they come from me. I also have a partner. When he sends emails, they'll come from his email address, and we're able to track our performance separately. And so we can make improvements on, what I'm doing based off of what he's doing and vice versa. So very useful there. If you have a team of 5, 10, 15, 20 people, your price is going to go up if you have to have individual accounts for all of those individuals. So definitely worth it for us so far. We've had a tremendous amount of influencers that we've been able to work with. We've done the manual route, and that's worked okay, but this has made it so much easier, and it saves so much time. So if you're at that point where time is more important to you than money, this definitely is something that can be useful. However, let's say you're not at that point. Let's say you want to get into influencer marketing and you don't have $1,000 a month to be able to spend just to find influencers, let alone pay them, right? This is all separate from paying the influencers too. And so like our budget for this last month here, we're probably going to spend around $5,000 with the influencers that we're working with just to get that return. You've got to make sure that you've got the money to be able to pay the influencers too. So if you don't have any of that, what can you do? Well, there's another software that we started using, and I really wouldn't even call it a software. It's more so just a platform, but it's called Intellifluence. And the way Intellifluence works, cannot talk today. Intellifluence, there we go. This is something you can literally just click, sign up, no meeting involved. It's very simple to use. The structure is very similar. I do still have an account, although it's not active, but within here, you can build campaigns. You can specify, the platform you want them to have. If you're paying, cash, or if you're giving free product, or if you're doing both, you can specify that. You can make a nice brief. All of that part is pretty similar. But the way that it works is the only people that you're really reaching out to are ones within the Intellifluence database, which is fairly large, but it's not accessing everything everywhere. And so it is going to be much, much smaller than some of these other ones. It's only ones that they're an influencer and they want to get gigs, so to speak. They're looking for you. They're going to be ones that are going to be on here. And so what I found is you'll find people that don't necessarily have the most engagement for their audience. We've had a couple okay ones, but it's just the return on investment. This is much cheaper. This is only $100 a month, and then you have to pay your influencers outside of that. But the return, even for spending so much less, we just weren't getting much from that. And, it could have been the approach that we took, but we didn't find that the quality of influencer was quite as good versus cherry picking exactly who you want to work with. Because we know what our audience type is, we know what they want, we know who they are. And so we're able to leverage that, but we needed a tool that could help us to find that quicker and not cap us. And that's what Intellifluence did for us. Now, your needs might be different. You might just need someone that you're able to maybe rebrand for advertising, or maybe you're able to find someone in your niche that's able to, to help you in that way. And this could be perfect in a much more inexpensive way of accomplishing that. So the basic plan is $99 a month. You get 3 campaigns that can be different brands, different themes, whatever. And then you basically pop up on the marketplace for when they're looking for gigs. They'll read up on your little brief and they'll actually apply to your campaign. So you don't actually have to send any emails. You don't have to reach out to anyone. They can come to you. And so that's one of the big benefits for Intellifluence. As far as tracking goes, it's not quite as good, and all communication has to happen from within Intellifluence, or else you will get flagged. They're very strict on that. And then you can only message people a certain number of times until you're in the middle of a transaction. And then once you've paid them and everything is good to go, your communication is then done until they reapply to something. So you can't really have like an ongoing type of relationship within this platform unless you take that off of the platform. But there could be consequences if you get caught in that regard as well. So it really depends on your circumstances as to which one is right for you. But influencer marketing is definitely the way that advertising is going. There's increasing cost in PPC. Ads are getting more and more expensive as we get into 2022. People trust people that they follow. If individuals have built up an audience that's loyal and faithful to them, when they make a recommendation, most people are going to trust that, especially when you work with the same influencer over and over again. Let's say you have a beauty line, right? And you have some sort of facial product. You see them using it. You might not buy it right here, right now, but maybe you're with them for a few months and you see their skin clearing up, or you see like they just constantly have this glow to them and they're always mentioning this brand. Then you're going to go buy that product. If you have a similar set of circumstances or problem that you're trying to fix and they found a solution, you're going to trust that, right? And so that's the power of leveraging influencers, is it actually gets cheaper over time, or you're working with them more, maybe you're spending more, but the return on your investment is going to be so much more as well. And then your ads that you run, they're one and done. Maybe you set up some retargeting, but if you have a video on YouTube that mentions you, I mean, you're evergreen. You're there for years, potentially, where people can, new customers can find you through the recommendation of that individual. So it's been huge for us. We love this software, so I just wanted to mention it to you guys. I'll go ahead and drop the link for both of these down below, and you can choose which one is right for you. Or if you've got all the time in the world and you want to do this the old-fashioned way, you're welcome to do that as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for joining. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you like this content, and then go ahead and subscribe and stick around for more content. My goal is to have 2 videos a week put out. I might do more, but the minimum is 2 videos a week because I do have a lot of stuff I want to share with you guys. I'm really excited about this next year here. So thanks for hanging out with me. And until next time, we will see you later.